Yes, yes. I think the last time I did it was probably 45 minutes in. So thanks, Saudi, for coming back along to Networking on Purpose 2, the sequel. Um, and the reason I asked Jamie to come back along is because the last event we did was absolutely brilliant. Folk got tons out of it. And networking comes up a lot in conversation. Networking comes up all the time when we talk about marketing and whatnot. Oh shit, I've tried it before and I didn't like it, it didn't work, and all the rest of it. And the reason for that is quite simple, right? And Jamie won't say this, but I will. It's probably because you're shit at it, right?
Hmm.
And once you actually get and once you actually get really into the nitty gritty of networking, it works. And I've been involved with Circle as well, as Neil here, and it's great, not just in the format of it, but the way Jamie helps people network on purpose, because it's it's all about relationship building. And I don't care, where we are with AI and where we are with technology. People still buy from people they know, like, and trust. And that's where networking absolutely comes into it. Circle does that incredibly well, but it also does it fantastically well because it uses technology. Because let's face it, we all don't have time to go and meet face to face every week just to have a bacon roll. Networking has moved on a little bit, and Jamie's going to give us some secrets into not just how to network on purpose, but how to use online networking to your advantage. So, without further ado, I will just hand over to Jamie. If you've got any questions, um, either stick a hand up or throw it in the chat box, and I'll keep an eye open for messages coming through. But we'll hand over to Jamie, and let's find out how to network on purpose. And I believe there might be a freebie here as well.
Yes, I'll try and remember what it was before we finish.
Your 2 week freebie, your 2 week
Oh
trial,
yes, yeah. I'll sort that. Okay.
and a Range Rover, obviously.
Yeah, of course, goes without saying. I've got 70 on the driveway just from today. Um, right, good evening, welcome everyone. I live in a world, operate in a world where no one really wants to do what I do. Right? Let's be honest about it. No one really wants to network. We just want clients. And we don't really want clients, do we? We just want some money in the bank. That's the point of what we do. We're doing it to earn some money, to make a difference for the people in our lives. But ultimately, that's what I help people to do. Find the clients that they want in an easier way that are more like their dream kind of clients and less pain in the ass clients. And we've all had plenty of those, haven't we? Somebody rings up, they've got an inquiry, we quote them for it, we do it, and we do it for the money. And sometimes we regret knowing when they become a pain in the ass, we knew that they were going to be a pain in the ass at the point that we were quoting them, but we still did it anyway. When you get good at networking, you can teach people to pass you the right kind of referrals, but you've got to have a plan. And I think a lot of people turn up for a networking event, they get invited along by somebody. So Stuart might say, "Oh, I'm part of this network. Martin, you should come along and try it." You like Stuart, you don't want to be rude, so you come along and you go, and before you know it, you're there. And then you join, and then you just say the same stuff week in, week out. Hi, I'm a builder. This is what I do. If anyone needs a builder, please recommend me. And you don't get any referrals. Or if you do, they're rubbish and you don't get what you want. What you can do is learn how to network and how to teach people to help you and get good at making introductions for other people, and then they help you back. So I'm going to give you some stuff tonight that's going to help you. But let's start with the fact that no one really wants to do it. What you want is clients. Now, networking can help you with a lot of different things. What I would like to know and help me tailor the next hour so it's useful for you guys is, if you could improve one thing with your networking, what would it be? So if you could put that in the chat for me, that would help me answer some of your questions. Then hopefully we'll get to the end of it and you go, actually, that was a good hour of my time because it's Tuesday evening and we've all got other things that we could be doing rather than just listening to me talking. So help me make it useful for you. And while you're doing that, I never wanted to start networking when I first went. Felt like it was a salesy, sleazy, early morning thing that I just didn't want to do. And then I started going networking. I met some people and I did okay. So it was in BNI that I first joined. First year in BNI, got 18 grand's worth of referrals. Then I sat a training course, and my second year in BNI from the same group of people, I got 88 grand's worth of business. So learning how to network was a real game changer for me. I had a social media and video business at the time, and the typical client to me was worth 3.5 grand a year. I sat this training course and worked out what a great client would be like. And within 3 months, I picked up a client that spent 45 grand with me over the next year. And I thought, actually, there's something to this. This might really help me. Okay, so more relevant connections, weed out the time wasters, public speaking. Okay. I'll let you others drop your stuff in. So if you've got the notebook and you've printed it out, that's fine. We're on page 4. So if you can improve one thing, you can feel free to write in this or just write your notes as you're going along. Stu, are you going to share the recording with everybody at the end? Thumbs up or down?
Yes. The recording goes on to the client portal, so everybody that's attending will get access to that, and the people that can't make it will get access, because a few have emailed to say they can't make it, but they'll catch up the recording, okay. So it's in the client portals.
Right. So most people just go networking. They get invited along, you book on, you've ticked that box, networking's in the diary, I'm going to go to that thing. You turn up, you say the same stuff, and you still don't get the results that you want. I'm going to challenge you a little bit. The more prep that you do, the easier you can make for other people. But going to a networking event itself isn't going to get you clients. That's just a place to meet people. And I think a lot of people think, oh, I need some clients. Everyone tells me I should go networking. You go networking and everyone else is there thinking the same thing. I need a client. Nobody goes networking to spend anything. And yet everybody goes networking to sell. And that's the disconnect. So if you think about that, no one goes networking to buy anything. Everyone goes to sell. So why are they going to buy your stuff? They're probably not. There's a guy called Chet Holmes wrote a book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. And in it, he did some research and he said at any moment in time, only 3% of people are in buying mode. So 3% of people are looking for an extension. 3% of people want a new car. 3% of people are renewing their car insurance. So if you go networking to sell, 97% of people are not interested. So that's the challenge. So if you go networking to meet people who might know someone who could be interested, and it's just a slight change to how you introduce yourself. I'm looking to meet people who might be interested in this, compared to if anyone wants to buy my stuff. And when we say you know, if any of you are interested in building services, then 97% of people switch off. If you say, who do you know that might be thinking about, then it opens people's mind to, actually, who do I know? So it's just a slight tweak to the approach to it. So I'm on page 6 now. So before you even go networking, think about what it is that you're going to do. So what can you do to get ready? Is your social media up to date? Because people are, without a doubt, going to go and do some due diligence and check you out beforehand. So if you haven't posted recently, I connected with somebody on LinkedIn yesterday, or they sent me a connection request. They hadn't posted for 6 months. I'm wondering if they're still in business. And people will do that with your stuff. They want to see, particularly you've got visual in the trade that you're in, you've got visual stuff that you can do. So are you helping people understand what it is that you do? Are your profile pictures of you? Because people connect with people. So they don't connect with logos. And this, our face, our profile picture, is the best logo that you can have. So it should be consistent. It should look professional. Are all your links correct on your social media profiles? There's nothing worse than going to someone's profile, wanting to send them an email, wanting to look at their website. Is all your stuff up to date and accurate and working? And it might be that me too, Stuart, me too. And it might be that you do a bit of a swap and you critique somebody else's social media profiles, because sometimes we can't see the wood for the trees ourselves. If you ask somebody else to have a look over it that knows you reasonably well, they might spot some stuff that you don't spot. Even things like on LinkedIn, have you got the right business there? Because sometimes we just forget to update it. We rebrand or start a new company or change jobs or something, and we've just never updated where we're working. So that's like the basic stuff before you even think about going networking, because people are going to check you out online. Then, whether it's virtual or in person, imagine that you're going to meet your dream client. Okay, what would you wear? So I've met people in the trades that turn up covered in plaster, covered in paint. It's only networking. What does it matter? And I'm like, but you're asking for introductions to people that have got really nice houses. I'm not going to introduce you to somebody because if you're going to turn up looking like a shower of shit, they're not going to want you in their house. So what people see is what they think that you're like all the time. So the first impressions count. So when you're networking, and I'm not telling you to change how you dress, but if you would dress differently to meet a dream client, that's really how you should be looking when you're networking. And then if you're at home or in the office, what's your background like? You can have virtual backgrounds, you can have a real background. This here is, I'm in the basement. I don't have a garage in my house, so the basement is the garage. Out of shot is all the shit that you would normally have in a garage. You just can't see it. So this is a very small, curated view of the world, which looks really nice. I've even got the lighting set up, so it looks like there's a window over here. There is no natural daylight down here. I've just got soft light, soft boxes that give the illusion of daylight down here. You can do that in your space. What's your branding? What's your look like? Like you'll see I've got a branded mug. If I did in-person networking, I would take that with me. That would be on the desk in front of me. I want to create that impression, little things like that. Neil's got his NGG sign, NJG sign in the back. You can have pull-up roller banners. I used to have my desk on the other side of the office, and I had my roller banner just here behind me because it hid all the shit that was on the floor. And then I just moved my desk back, and all the shit's on that side now. So you can curate your view to give the right impression, because first impressions counts. No one's going to say to you, Stuart Temple, I'm not going to use you because I didn't like the look of your Zoom room. But they'll just think it and then never get in touch. And if we don't, if we're asking out of interest, Sonny, what kind of clients are you looking for?
Principal contractors, so larger contractors than me. They're up my main target audience effectively. Yeah.
So what's the value of a project that they would be working on?
Millions, hopefully. That would be dream client would be upwards of overall project, but like what do you mean? So
so you're dealing with people that are dealing in like multiple figure, multi-million pound contract. You've got to look the part, give the right impression, because you're going to be a representation of them on site. Does everything match to stack up that? How we all have to take a look at ourselves and think, how referable am I? Because we want referrals into somebody. Somebody else's reputation is on the line when they're making an introduction with us. So sometimes we've just got to take that look at ourselves and go, am I referable? And I think most people point the finger of blame at other people. That network's shit because they never gave me referrals. And there's three fingers pointing back at us, where actually I let myself down a little bit, and maybe like punctuality is a thing for me, and I talk about arriving on time, whether it's in person or on Zoom. It might just be that Neil arrives late once, and then he's lost trust with me because I know if I introduce him to my best client, you cannot be late for them. It's that kind of thinking. So it's worth just thinking about how do we need to be before we even get to a networking event to create the right impression. Okay, virtual or in person. Could you use any props? So what's the stuff that you've had? I used to network with a guy that used to do, he used to do a certain kind of render that had silicon in it. So we used to network in person, and he had like a tile that had this render on, and half of it was rendered in the silicon stuff and half of it wasn't. And if you poured some water onto it, it soaked into one half and it ran off the other. And it was really easy to demonstrate why you should pay a bit more. So you could have stuff like that. You could hold pictures up of projects that you've done, if you're in person, or if you're on Zoom, it's really easy to screen share and show people your stuff. Now, I'm a coach. I can't show someone a picture of coaching. Here's a happy picture of Stuart. Here's an unhappy picture of him before he worked with me. It doesn't work the same, does it? Whereas you can show someone's rundown, dilapidated house and what you did afterwards, or whatever it is that you do. So think about some stuff like that. You could have printouts, but you could do screen share. It's really easy to do. A little bit of prep goes a long way. Then what do you want from your networking events? We're on page 7. What do you want? I think there's 3 core things that you can go networking for. You can go networking for introductions to clients. Now, some people in the room might actually want to be your client, but let's assume not. So you can go looking for clients. You can go networking looking for people that can become referral partners. So other trades, other companies that deal with your ideal client that you can collaborate with, so that when they win a client, they introduce you, or when you win a client, you can introduce them. Or people that you can just collaborate with. So someone like Stuart, great collaborator. For me, it gives me the opportunity to come and talk to you about what I do. I would suggest that when you go networking, you're only looking for one of those things. At the point that we start listing things, people switch off. So it might be that you go networking. So I'm looking for anybody that wants to build a new house, or wants an extension, or wants to do a renovation, or people switch off at that point and they can't remember it. So only one thing at a time for each networking event that you go to, or each conversation with people, because we network all day long. You might be on site at the builder's merchant, in the pub, anywhere, having a conversation with somebody that could potentially introduce you. So we're always networking. And then what's your goal for your networking event? So for me, when I go networking, I just want to meet one person that I think I'll follow up with. Remember the olden days where we used to go to networking events and we'd pick up loads of business cards and there might be 20 or 30 people there. Like, I have to blow the dust off these because I don't do in-person stuff anymore. But you'd pick up 10 or 20 business cards, you'd come home, put them on your desk. Well, they might stay in the car or the van for a while, and then they eventually make it onto your desk and you never do anything with it. It's pointless. I go networking to meet one person because I know that I'll probably follow up with one person. And if they deal with my ideal kind of client and I help them, then they're going to help me back. So that's my goal when I go networking. It's different for different people. Might be that you're looking, Marius, you put that you're looking for speaking, you want to improve your speaking. So you might go networking, asking for people for speaking opportunities. There's a lot of people who've got podcasts. Stuart's been on my podcast. There's a lot of people run events where you can speak at events. Our networking group is very, very good because we have 2 speakers at each of our events. And I see that people go on a journey. They start off not very confident, a bit uncomfortable. And the more that they do it, the more confident that they get, and then their business grows at the same time. So you can get different things from networking. So if you think about what we just spoke about, you need to do a little bit of prep beforehand. What is it? How do you get yourself ready? What do you need to prep? What are you going to be asking for when you go networking? And what's the one thing that you want to achieve? And then what do we all want? We want people to introduce us to their best people. That's what we want when we go networking. Nobody wants an introduction to a shit client or a shit person or no one with no money or pain in the ass people or people that don't pay on time. We all want the best people, don't we? How often do you introduce people to your best people? So think about all the networking that you've done. How often have you gone away and made an introduction to someone there to one of your best people? And it's not intentional. We've just never thought about it in the past. But if you want to speak to everyone else's best connections, you've got to be prepared to do it yourself. At Christmas, I read a book called Atomic Habits because I wanted to change the way that I network this year. And I wanted to pass more referrals than ever. And I have. I pass a referral a day. It averages at 5 a week. So it's not always one one per day. Sometimes it's 2 or 3. Sometimes it's none, but 5 a week. If I haven't got to the end of the week and I've passed 5 referrals, I'm not achieving my goals. I've had more referrals than ever before this year. I've helped more people, and in return, they've helped me back. My business has doubled financially. The team has tripled, and we've got the momentum in place to continue us to grow. I bought a business for £1 this year because someone passed me a referral. That springboarded the growth that we've had this year. So when you get really good at helping other people, they will help you back. But it's not the first thing we think about doing, because we really just want that next client. If I could just get that next client, that's going to sort me out. That'll see me through till Christmas. That'll pay the bills this month, whatever it might be. But when you get really good at networking and pass lots of referrals to other people and teach them what you really want, then you can unlock everything that you want. But you've got to put the time in. And I think most people, you will have had 6 till 7 in your diary tonight. And if this was a networking event, as soon as it's finished, you go off and you do your other stuff. You might trip up over somebody who says something that makes you think, oh, right, yeah, Stuart was asking for that kind of person. I'll introduce them. And they're what I call reactive referrals. We just react into what other people say. There's not many people pass proactive referrals where you actively go out and find somebody something. That's the difference that it can really make. So you've got to put some time in your diary to find referrals for other people. Most people don't do that. Now, you don't need to go to networking events. This is me talking myself out of a bit of business now. You've probably got a great network already. You just don't know them well enough, and they don't know you well enough. And Sonny, so what's the work that you actually do?
Passive fire protection. So fire doors, name and compartmentation. Okay. Quite boring, but
no. So people involved in health and safety, architects, renovation, commercial lending, larger construction projects are all people that are probably meeting your ideal kind of clients.
Yeah, contracts managers. That's
yep.
Yeah, people that carry out fire safety.
Insurance brokers probably are dealing with your kind of clients as well.
Possibly, I don't know if they would go to lengths of. Yeah, they would be dealing with my sorts of clients. Yeah, potentially, but
so one of the things
to sort of be more specific is probably generally the people that refer us are fire door inspectors, basically, that they carry out inspections but don't get involved in the work themselves, and contracts managers that work for larger principal contractors, and they will go, oh, we use these guys before, pass our name on that way, sort of thing. But I mean, they are other people that could potentially potential sort of client base.
So with that in mind, then, if you think about you just mentioned 2 or 3 people that regularly could refer you. There's probably people that you could get to know to help them that aren't going to benefit you directly, but are the kind of people that they want to know.
Yeah.
But we don't generally think about doing that. So if you think about your customer, and if you were to write your customer, a description of your customer in a circle, and then around out the outside, who are all the other businesses that deal with that customer? They're the people that you all want to get to know.
Yeah.
And by helping them, if you help them in the right way, they'll help you back. You've got to teach them how to help you, though. So it's not just, I hear a lot of people that go networking, and you might say this, or someone might say this like you. I'm just looking for an introduction to anyone that needs passive fire protection. Well, like, I want to help you, but no one springs to mind. So then you never get any referrals. Well, and it might be that you give an example, and this is where I think client examples really help. You might talk about a client that you're working for. I don't know. Let's say it's a school, and I'm just going to make this up now, so ignore me if I get this wrong. But a school might have shit fire doors in, and they haven't got any fire protection in place, and somebody goes on site. They might be doing painting and decorating. They can, if you've taught them what to spot and what things look like when they're wrong or not in place, then they can give you a call and say, right, I'm just on site here. I've sent you some pictures. Is this the kind of thing that you want? How can I introduce you? And I say to a lot of people, if you can refer me to somebody, tell me first before you try and mess it up.
Yeah.
Nobody knows our business like we do.
Yeah.
But a lot of people might try and then mess it up, and then they don't come back and go, oh, Sonny, I had a perfect referral for you, but I completely messed it up the other day.
Mm.
Nobody does that. So I always say to people, if you can refer me to somebody, come and ask me first what to say, and I'll help you to introduce me.
Yeah.
So it's just a different way of doing things, but you've got to put the time in your diary. So a little bit of time to prep beforehand. What is it you actually want at the event? And then what are you going to do afterwards? It can make a world of difference. Then page 8, I'm rushing through this just so that we get through it. Page 8, what are the things that you can cover in your presentations and in your one-to-one conversations with people? Teach people what an ideal client looks like and what you don't want as well. So this is what I really want, and I don't want any of these. Because sometimes you get these pain in the ass stuff unless you tell people that you don't want it. Have some standard presentations. So all networking events give people an opportunity to do some kind of presentation. I see it that the people that regularly do those get more business. They build their credibility. They teach people what it is that they do. They look more organized, and they get more referrals. It's black and white. I see it like that. We run a lot of networking events. I think we've done 2,000 networking events in the last 4 years. And I see the people that regularly do presentations and that make it known that they're available. So if someone lets you down at the last minute, I've got some presentations ready to do. And last minute opportunities really help as well. Teach people how to refer you as well. So I'll give you an example of something that I use here for that. So I'll pop that link in the chat. If you click that to watch later, it'll give you an example of what I have. So all I want people to do is watch that video. So when I'm speaking to somebody, all I say to them really is, can you get somebody to watch this video? That explains how my business works. And at the end of it, it offers them a 2-week free trial. It's not that hard to do. It's me in the video explaining what my business is, rather than somebody else going, oh, well, there's this networking group and it's really good. And there's some nice people there. I've got it covered in my words. You were the best salespeople for your business. So why wouldn't you have something like that that you can teach other people with? So teaching people how to refer you. I use keyboard shortcuts on my phone. So I've got these things. I don't remember that. I don't have to copy and paste it. I just type in. So if someone wants to book a call with me, I type in Collab, which expands into my booking link for collaboration calls. So having these little things can make life really easy. So if Marius wanted to introduce me to somebody, I'd say just send them this link and then they can book a meeting with me. There's no to-in and fro-in. There's no, oh, Jamie, let me email. Marius writing an email that introduces Jamie to Neil. Then I reply saying, thanks very much. Should we have a meeting? And before you know it, a week can go by. And all he had to do really was pass my link and someone could book a call with me. So a little bit of thought in advance can make it easy for people to help you. Okay. Presentations. Does anybody do presentations? No, some of you. Okay, so page 9. Ask so what? And I mean this with love, but I see a lot of people that do presentations that go, here's me. Here's my little dog. Here's my kids, my wife. That's us on holiday. So what? Is that really going to help you in the business? Right? It's not. And some people, when they have slides, they can waste too much time on the wrong stuff at the start and then run out because they do all the nice fluffy things at the start. And then you find them skipping through the slides really quickly at the end. I think that getting to know you personally is something that I would do in a conversation, not really to see in a slideshow. I just want you demonstrating your expertise or sharing something that's going to be useful. So ask, so what? So when whatever you've got in there, so what? Is that going to be useful? Is that helping me with my outcome? I hear a lot of people that do presentations or see people that do presentations that have no call to action at the end. So what do you want at the end of it? I'll be honest with you guys. At the end of this, I want you to go, networking's amazing. Maybe I should go and try Circle Networks and I'll let you have a 2-week free trial. That's my outcome for doing this stuff. I'm not getting paid for doing it. If enough people sit in front of me, some of them will get involved in my network and I'll help them win the business that they want. That's what I want when I do presentations. So from your perspective, what's the thing that you want? Might be that you ask people to, so Sonny, you said principal contractors would be good for you. Here's the thing that you could do. And not, it depends on who you're speaking to. So if you all got your phones there with LinkedIn on, so if you open up your phone, open up LinkedIn, and if I type in mine, principal contractor in the search box and click search and then click on people and first, that will show me my first degree connections on LinkedIn of people that have got principal contractor in their title. Now, if you did that when you were networking, now replace principal contractor with whatever the right phrase might be for you. So I've got 6 people that have got that in their title. Now, they might not be the right people, but at least it's a start so that when Sonny's speaking to people, he can help them think about, out of all the thousands of connections, oh, you've actually got 2 or 3 that I would like to meet. Now, you might want to restrict that, filter that a bit more, and maybe put that you want them in London or wherever it is that you live. But that might help people think about, of all the contacts that they know, these are the ones that might be of use to you. And then I would say, so if I was you, Sonny, doing this, and I go, so just have a look through the list and think about who you know well enough that you could pick up the phone and introduce me to. And then that might narrow that down to just one, but at least you know you're going to get a good introduction as a result of it. Whereas I think most people go on networking and get nothing. So that's one way to help people. So at the end of your presentation, what's the thing that you want them to do? Might be that you want them to go away and like connect with you on LinkedIn. You might put a QR code on there or share a post or whatever it is, but have a clear call to action at the end. Thanks for listening. Here's what I'd like you to do. So that's making the most of presentations. Number 10, page 10, 3 things. So a lot of us started using Zoom during lockdown, and Calendly suddenly became very popular. There's loads of versions of things like that. TidyCal is a good one now that I see a lot of people using. I think for $29, if you search around for it, for $29, you can get lifetime access to TidyCal. And then you can have different types of booking links that people can make appointments with you. I see a lot of people that used to use the free version of Calendly, where you only get one meeting link on there, and the default, I think, is 45 minutes or an hour. If you don't need a 45-minute or a 60-minute conversation with somebody, why would you send them a meeting that blocks 60 minutes in your diary? So I've got, on mine's through my CRM, but I have a 15-minute phone call link. It says that on the title. And so when someone clicks on it, it says 15-minute phone call. It's really good because when people get on the call with me, they have to put their number in and they go, how long have we got? Is it just 15 minutes? And I say, yeah. And they go, okay, right, I'll get straight to it. It avoids all the chit chat. There's none of that. Hi, how you doing? You had a good week? They're straight to business with it. And I use it to filter people. So if I've never met Stuart before and he wants to book a call with me, he'll get the 15-minute phone call link. Sorry. And the number of people that got, is this what you use to filter people? And I'm like, yep. So if I like the sound of you, then we can book a longer meeting, but have the right booking links available for you. One of the things that you might find useful is Linktree. So I use Linktree because I'm sure I'm on the free version. I've not checked to see if it's still free, but I'm pretty sure it is. On that one link, I can have lots of links. So if you click on that, it'll show you how to join our Facebook group, how to connect with me on LinkedIn. There's a thing on there that says how to refer me. So it's one place that you can have a lot of resources. So on something like Instagram, where you can only put one URL in your profile and you can't put links in any of the posts, you could have Linktree as your URL that goes to your website or any of the other websites that you want to send people to. So Linktree is a really useful thing. If you do go networking, you've probably had one-to-ones with people. Has anybody had a one-to-one with someone? Yeah, go networking. Oh, we should have a call, virtual coffee, a coffee, one-to-one. A lot of people have one-off meetings with people. If in our personal lives, we don't go on one date and get married. And yet in business, people think that they can have one meeting and unlock all of your best clients as introductions. So we're in the world of business dating. You're going to have to get to know someone and them get to know you and build a relationship with them before they trust you enough that they're going to introduce you to their best people. So it's going to take more than one meeting. So you're going to have your first. So I say to people, think of it like you were training a salesperson. A lot of people go networking and do their 60-second pitch and sit back and wait for till to ring. You've got to teach somebody how, if you were to recruit a full-time salesperson, how much time would you spend teaching them? It's going to be more than 60 seconds. It's going to be more than 10 minutes that you would do in a presentation. It's going to be more than an hour. It's probably going to be a week. That's how much time it takes to teach someone to be a salesperson. That's what you cover in your one-to-one meetings with people. In our heads, right, I'm teaching you to be a salesperson. Here's my ideal client. Here's some of the objections that might have. Here's how to refer me. Here's some testimonial examples. It's a training program, and then you've got to learn about them at the same time. And then the last tip that I've got there, have some standard information that you equip people with in order to help you. So most of us use WhatsApp. I find WhatsApp's really good for sharing pictures. So I'm going to WhatsApp you a load of pictures and projects that I've worked on, so that when I'm sat in front of a client on your behalf, Marius, I'm not going, yeah, he does a really good job. I can just show you. So here's a picture of what he did. He did that and that and that. In fact, there's a testimonial there. Look at that. That says how great he is from his customer. You've all got this stuff, but are you giving it to people to help you? You might even have some video testimonials or some links to something. You need to make it easy for somebody to refer you. But most people don't. They just go networking. I love introductions too, and they sit back and wait for it. There's a bit more work to it with that. Time-wise. Right, page 11. One of the things I encourage people to do at our networking events is talk about themselves before they do their business. You need people to care about you before they care about helping you. And people buy from people. So at our networking events, we get people to start by telling us what they do when they're not working. So you can do this in your one-on-one conversations. So before we get down to business, let's just find out a bit more about each other. So things that you, so it says there, the connect method, what kind of stuff? You want to find out what you've got in common with people if you like them. So where did they grow up? Tell people about your childhood, your family, if you've got family. What do you do when you're not working? New places you want to go to, eventful times in your life, causes that you might care about, things that you might not know about me. You don't have to do all of them, but some of those will help people get to know you. So for example, me, I say my dad, I've got 3 kids. I've been divorced. My kids are 12. That's my daughter's partner. My partner's daughter's 12. Mine are 18 and 20. So I was just at the point where they're about to fly the nest, and I've gone back 6 years now. So I've got 6 more years of school before I'm free. I've got 2 dogs. You'll hear them barking. I like gin. I like red wine. I like a good curry, and I love barbecues. Originally, I'm from the Lake District, and now I live in Cheshire. And I used to be a scuba diver. So from that, people can find out if I'm their kind of person or not. The ones that have got things in common with me will be interested in telling me, oh, I like red wine, or I like barbecues, or I used to be a scuba diver. And some people will go, can't stand that bloke. I don't have anything in common with him. They never book a meeting with me. That saves me an hour of my life and them. So you either push people away or you pull them towards you. I find you can usually find something that you've got in common with people if you make a habit of doing this. and it fast tracks the relationship building. The business then comes quicker as a result of it, because people want to deal with people that are like them. If I've got something in common with you, then you're my kind of person. If I've got nothing in common with you, generally just because I don't know, I've got no emotional attachment to it. So it helps pull people closer to you. Page 12. Some of this stuff you'll know, but maybe haven't thought about because you just do it or you don't do it. The first thing, be a good listener. It's surprising. Our networking events, we put people into breakout rooms, and there's 4 people in a breakout room. So everybody gets 4 minutes each. Quite often, I will not use my 4 minutes. I'll just ask some questions of other people. So I never even do my pitch. I just listen to other people because nobody goes networking to buy. I may as well even skip my pitch and just make a good impression by asking questions from other people. So be a good listener. Smile. Like, I realize, and in all the years that I was in business, until I got on Zoom, how miserable I look. This is my interested looking face. That's me genuinely interested in listening to someone. So like, now that I see myself, I have to force myself to smile more because I look so bloody miserable. And I think all the years that I never saw myself, I must have looked really miserable in meetings with people. So smiling, it makes a big difference. It also helps people know that, it lets people know that you're listening. So when you all smile, then that lets me know that you're listening, that I'm getting through to you, because it's quite hard, especially when everybody's on mute and you don't get any feedback. There's different kind of cues that you need to pick up on Zoom. Asking questions is a really good one. It really shows people that you're listening. There is nothing worse than those tumbleweed moments where someone's done a presentation and then Stuart goes, has anyone got any questions? And there's just that awkward silence. And the presenter thinks, oh my God, I must have been shit. These guys can't wait to get out of here. So have 1 or 2 questions that you can ask people when you meet them, when you're networking. And it might be one-on-one or it might be in a group. But things like, what would make a good introduction for you? How did you get into what you're doing? So Sonny, what led you into, you show an interest in somebody, and it only takes 1 or 2, you only need to have 1 or 2 questions that you use all the time that helps you really build a relationship with people. And then the last one, take action. Like, a lot of people go networking, have the best of intentions, and then never follow through on what they could have done. If you're the one that actually finishes an event, connects with people on social media, ring them up, book a meeting, ask them a question, find them a referral, you're going to stand out from the majority of people who go networking. Now, this all feels like a lot of work, but it can transform your business. I'll give you an example. There was a guy, Paul McGowan, joined our network January last year. 27 years as a financial advisor, had been in BNI multiple times and lots of other networks, but was just quitting BNI and going to quit networking forever. He'd had enough. The chapter that he was in was rubbish, and he was doing that thing of pointing the finger. Everyone else is rubbish. They don't pass me referrals. I'm wasting my time here. And one of the guys that he was in BNI with, a guy called Jimmy Crichton, said, try Circle Networks. So Jimmy was also in Circle Networks. The 2 of them had been in BNI for about 9 months together, had 1 one-to-one, never passed any referrals. Paul came along to Circle Networks, found out you can have fun doing it and you can get the referrals that you want. He, over the last 18 months, he's tripled his income just from networking. And Jimmy, the guy that he never did anything with when he was in BNI, is now his top referral partner and passes him more work than anybody else. So he already knew the guy who could unlock all the business that he wanted. And Jimmy works in private healthcare, dealing with the ideal kind of clients that Paul wants to deal with. They just didn't know each other well enough. So coming to another network and sitting some of the training that I run has helped him build the right relationship with Jimmy so that they now have become best referral partners for each other. As a result, Paul's gone from 10 grand a month to 30 grand a month. He's doing okay. Like to the point that he's like, "Oh, God, I've got too much work. How am I going to cope with all this?" And he's just took on 2 new advisors. That's what it can do. And it took Paul end of January, he joined. He got nothing until July. Now he's in financial services, so it's a trusted, considered decision to move that kind of stuff. From August onwards, the business started coming in, and it just gathered pace each month. And that's what networking can do for you in a short space of time. Page 13 is a little bit of a template for you. So if you're not sure what to say when you go networking, that's a format that you can follow, and you can do 2 or 3 versions of that. You might, like, I don't know. So I don't know anything, Sonny. I'm using you as an example, sorry, but I don't know anything about your business. But I'm sure that there's some interesting stats about fire protection and accidents and stuff like that. Start with a fact. So did you know that X% of fires happen because, or whatever it might be, something about your business, that 99% of builders are rogue, and I'm in the 1% that are not because, whatever it might be. And then, so you start with the fact that gets people's attention. Then, well, my name is, and I help, blah, 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 to do this, and I do it by, and then give an example. The thing that I love about online networking is I could have that written out, and I'm holding it up, right? It's just below the camera. So I could almost read that out and no one would know. You can't do that with in-person networking. So if you're still learning how to network, I think online networking is a lot easier, less intimidating. You can cover broader area and it takes a lot less time. But there is nothing that replaces face-to-face because you have a different relationship with people. Some of the stuff that I see people do, they lean in on Zoom and they're looking like this. And then you just see that the video wobbles a little bit. They're typing on their keyboard. They're replying to an email. They're not even listening to what we're saying or watching the screen. They're doing emails. I see people that all of a sudden turn their camera off or mute themselves or don't even mute themselves and then just have a conversation with somebody. We would never do that in person. Yeah, it would be like, oh, all right. And I normally do this. I'll normally ask somebody to introduce themselves and then I'll do the biggest yawn. And they just stop straight away. And it feels really rude because it is rude. And that's me exaggerating what people do. People do really rude stuff on Zoom that they would never do in person. So when you're networking, just the biggest thing you can give people is your attention. Eye contact is what people want, and they want to know that you're listening. So you can do little things like nodding, looking like you're taking notes. And we pick up on this stuff. This is me writing something down. So if I'm listening to you talking, this is me taking notes. Okay. This is me looking at WhatsApp on my phone. And a lot of people don't realize that everyone else can see the difference. And if you're not listening to me when I'm talking, then I'm switching off from helping you if we're networking together. Different when we're on Zoom calls for training and stuff like that. But with networking events, you would never, if we were all in the room together, if I've just started my presentation, you wouldn't get up and walk out. Not unless there was something seriously wrong. You wouldn't mute yourself and take a phone call and go and stand in the corner of the room. But people do this kind of stuff on Zoom all the time and wonder why they don't get referrals from people. Because if you do that in front of me on Zoom, then why am I going to help you? You know, the same etiquette and courtesy applies online as it does in person. Same with punctuality, all that kind of stuff. And I say to people, whether it's online or in person, you want to get there early. So with online, I see people, oh shit, it's 6 o'clock. I need to find the link. Where is it? And then they arrive a couple minutes late. Doesn't matter. I don't have to shuffle past anybody. I'm not all hot and sweaty and bothered. I'm not making a load of noise. I'm not scraping the chair out to sit down. All of the things that we would never want to do if it was in person, but it's okay because it's online. So these are the things that sometimes put people off passing referrals. Right, I'm going to skip on a little bit. Page 15. Have collaboration calls, not one-to-ones. I think one-to-ones is a broken phrase, which basically means we're going to have a coffee and a chat and do nothing. Because that's most people's experience of one-to-ones. What you want to do is think of it as it's the Ron Seal of meetings. It's to collaborate. It's how are we going to help each other? I'm going to teach you a bit about me. You teach me a bit about you, and we'll go away and actually do something to help find a client. So you might want to think about, if you were to train a salesperson, what's the stuff that you would teach them on for your business? And that's the format that you follow for your first 5 meetings. What would you teach a salesperson? What do they need to know? What do you need to give them in order to help you? In jobs, a lot of us would have a meeting, take actions at the end of the meeting, and then set a date for the next meeting. It's good practice. Makes sense. We run our own business. We have a call. Thanks very much. Nice to meet you. I'll see you again. Must do this again. And we never do. And basically, we've just wasted an hour or two. So treat it like a business. It's your business. People are there to help you. So if you start with the right mindset, right, I'm going to have a business meeting with somebody, I'm going to find out a bit about them, and I'm going to go away and help them in some way, they will do the same back for you. It's not a guarantee, because some people are shit. They just take. You've got to find the right people with similar values to you, who deal with your ideal clients, and that you think, right, Martin deals with my kind of clients. If I help Martin and introduce him to some of mine, I know that at some point he's going to introduce me back, because he's going to want me to carry on introducing him. That's how it works. And then you might find 2 or 3 other people that all deal with the same clients. And if 4 of you all start introducing each other to each other's clients, you might not even need to do any marketing. Everything can come from word of mouth. Without a doubt, trades and the building and construction industry is a word of mouth business. And one person gets a client. If you know someone that's good, you're fixing a problem for somebody else when you pass that introduction. So we become really important to our clients because we know all the right people. You have an edge. People like me that aren't in construction don't know all the right people. I do in other things, for marketing, for growing your business, but not in the building and construction industry. That's the edge that you've got. Your clients don't have that. So if you just start telling your clients, you know what, I know all the right people, so whatever it is you need, just come and ask me. I'll get the right people for you. You become the problem solver for them. Page 16, passing good referrals. There are good referrals and bad referrals. The bad ones is to someone that's got no money, someone that's never going to answer your phone call, someone that doesn't even want to deal with you. We've all had, oh, you should speak to this person, and then we can never get in touch with them, or we do and they've got no money, or they do have money, but turns out they're bad payers or a pain in the ass and they're never happy. Get good at passing good referrals, and people will reciprocate. So people need to know you, like you, trust you, understand what you do, know a bit about how you charge. It's a broad thing, isn't it? But you can give a guide for people. I know that this guy is competitive on price, but if you want really cheap, you should go somewhere else, because when you buy cheap, you buy twice. Teach people how to sell your stuff. And explain how somebody else, if you're making a referral, explain how Marius can fix that problem, because he's very good and you've seen examples of his work and you've seen some testimonials. You might have even been on site with him, because if in the trades world, you're all going to be working locally. And if you think that someone could work really well with you, invite them to your projects so that they can say that they've seen your work, and go to theirs so that you can say that you've seen theirs and you've been around their site and seen their work. You could, Sonny, thinking about the work that you do, you could have somebody, like, my world's virtual. I can't bring somebody around and spend the day with me to see people. They would be jumping in on Zoom meetings. But you could have somebody out with you for the day, and you could go and visit a load of clients and make some introductions, and likewise with them. So the world that you're in is different to mine. You can actually get out and see people. I don't. So good referrals versus bad referrals. And then build a good inner circle. This is the bit that most people miss out on. They go networking, they think they've done it. What if you built a team, right? It's not like when we were at school and you've got to wait to be picked. You're in charge of picking your referral team. So you can find the people who complement what you do. So the other suppliers, the other trades, the other professionals that deal with the same client as you, and you're picking them to be on your team. And explain it like, look, I'm putting a referral team together. I want people that can collaborate. I don't have anyone that does X, Y, Z. I'd love you to be that person. It's up to you if you want to or not. And then start getting to know each other. start finding out about each other's businesses. And that kind of covers it. I think we've had a whirlwind session there, but I've given you a flavour of there's more than just going to a networking event to being a good networker.
Absolutely, Jamie. That again, I've taken tons of notes. I mean, the last time we were on, I took tons of notes, but I've done all this, and I know all this. I might not be doing it, but I know all this. But I've taken some absolute gems here. I'm going to share one with you, Jamie, as well, because it's quite relative to what you talked about the phone and doing things and breaking that trust. And I was speaking to somebody earlier on today, and he talked about the hidden objection. Right. So in sales, the objections are, or you're too expensive, or you're not quick enough, or whatever it might be. And the hidden objection is what you actually don't know. And if I'm checking my phone, just doing this and all the rest of it, then you break that, and that's the hidden objection. You don't actually know why you don't trust me to refer. It's a subliminal thing, and I certainly won't know. And what I was actually doing when you were just talking about that, I was just having a look around to see many people on this call were actually doing shit other than listening to what you're saying. And it's very, very easy to spot. So that to me has been the big learning point for me.
It's so easy, right? Rapport is hard to make, easy to break.
Correct.
Hard to make, easy to break.
Absolutely.
It takes a while to build up that trust with people. We've got someone's attention. We've got to keep it, but we can lose it in an instant like that. Someone might just come at the door. But if I just look away and give something my attention, I'm just saying you're boring. And it puts people off. I've seen people start their online presentations and start talking, and someone's just got up and walked out of the room, and they were like, was it something that I said? And it might just be like, for me, my dogs are getting a bit restless, so they take my attention at this time of night.
Excellent. So, Jamie, tell us about, very briefly, Circle and 2 weeks free trial, yeah?
Okay. So there is no sales pitch from me. We offer, if I had a restaurant, I always say to people, I would let people have a free trial of the food, because I would have amazing food. I would. All you'd need to do is taste a bit of it, and you would want to come in and eat. I don't have a restaurant. I've got a networking business. So I let people come along and have a free trial. 2 weeks free completely. There is no pitching. It's about getting to know people, and you don't know who people know. So come along and try some of our events. And we're different to other networks because most other networks are specifically for finding business. We help people in business as they're on their journey growing their business. So it might be at some point you're looking for clients. It might be once you've got some clients that you might need a virtual assistant. I know some virtual assistants. We've got them in our network. It might be that you want to run some Google ads. We've got people that run Google ads. There's all sorts of things that as you grow your business and go through stuff, you might need a quote for insurance. You might need someone to do some marketing for you, build a new website, run an email campaign, do social media. There's all sorts of things that we need. We've got a place where you can meet people and filter them and find out if they're any good before you actually need them. So we support people in business. People say to me, which one should I go to? My advice is just try a few, see if you like the format, and then you can find the right one that works for you. So it's completely free. I've popped the link in there, free trial. Might not be for you, but you'll be doing me a huge favor if you pass that on to somebody else and let them. So the free trial applies to anybody else. And that's one of the other things that people don't do. You might speak to some people who are not your clients, but are you asking them if they know anyone else that they could introduce to you? So even if they're a no, or they reject your quote, might just be that the time's not right. Ask them if they know anyone else that you should speak to. It's surprising. It's the second bite of the cherry.
Yep. Good point. Okay. Just conscious your dogs are probably getting restless. Monty just stuck his head in and looked outside and thought, I'm not going out in that, so I'm okay. I'm in for the night. Has anybody else got any other questions, or will we wrap up at that? Anybody got any questions for Jamie?
Yeah, Jamie, Stuart here. Just quickly before I look at the free trial, is it set in areas like postcode areas, or is it just a general online? Anyone can come from anywhere?
There's a mixture. So we do have, they're all online events. So where are you based, Stuart?
Watford, Hertfordshire.
Okay, so we've got a London event and we've got a property group, and the property group is based down in the southeast. But and what I said, there are some that are location specific, but half the people that attend are not from that area. And I think the thing nowadays is we've all got big networks, and it's not about the people in the room, it's who they know. And I'll give you a quick example of this. I had somebody on my podcast on Friday who lives out in Dubai. I'm growing the business out in Dubai. I don't live there. I don't have a very big network. So at the end of the podcast, I've got a conference there in January. So she said to me after we'd finished recording, she said, so if you'd like any royalty or government officials to come to your conference, Jamie, just let me know because they're all my friends. And I was like, oh, I wish she'd said that before I'd pressed stop on the record. And I said, that's amazing. That's amazing. So then I said, what can I do to help you? And she's like, she's into fashion. She's a bit of an influencer, very well connected. Her dad runs one of the biggest property firms, construction firms in Dubai, as a chain of hotels. I had no idea about this before I spoke to her. I said, what can I do to help you? She said, I'd like to speak to anyone that's London based in luxury or fashion brands that would like to launch in Dubai. And I was like, shit, I don't know anyone like that. So then I came off that. A friend of mine rang me who's in the network, Keith, who lives in Worcester. And I said, we're chatting away. And I said, Keith, out of interest, you don't know anyone that's involved in luxury brands or fashion that might be interested? No, I wish I did. And then he went, oh, actually, I spoke to a guy an hour ago who's a diamond wholesaler. I'll bet he knows someone. So I don't rule anybody out. So regardless of the networking event, if you look at Stuart, he's based up in the top of Scotland. You can't get much further north than where he is, but he's got connections all across the UK. So I would just say, Stuart, there are some that are location based. Certainly try those if they meet your schedule.
Yep.
But come along and try any. And as long as you're clear with the type of people that you want to meet, let them work out how they can help you rather than us just assuming that no one can.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question. Excellent. MD, any other questions?
Yeah, just one other question. So do you offer sort of with the services, do you offer sort of guidance in how to, I know you've obviously you explained that in some detail, but before sort of the networking events, you offer sort of guidance on how to introduce yourself and the sorts of things you should and shouldn't say before.
Well,
just kind of.
So I've just popped another link in the chat there if you're interested. So I run a training course called Sales and Networking Accelerator.
Okay.
It's a six-week online course. It's normally 1,200 quid. It's included in our conference ticket price at 350 at the moment. So I've got some people that have bought tickets for the conference that don't even want to come because they just want to sit the training and make the saving. So that might be something that's of interest. But drop me a message, Sonny.
Yeah.
Might be something that's useful. I run it every 8 weeks. So even if the one that's just started isn't the right time for you, it's on all the time.
Okay, perfect.
Welcome.
Amy, you mentioned Southeast Property Group.
Yep.
Could you tell me something more about it?
So funnily enough, Neil is about to take it over. So it's going to be, well, it is a group of people who are in the property industry. And what I like to do is help people build referral teams. So if you kind of think people in construction, mortgage brokers, lenders, architects.
Whereabouts in Southeast?
It's online. So it's called Southeast. It's called Southeast only because Neil lives down in the Southeast. So anybody's welcome to come to it and try it. So Marius, just come along and try it.
Sorry, because I didn't get it. Where is it?
Online.
It's online.
Online. Okay.
Yeah. All our events are online apart from our conference. It's in person in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I said. Just come and try any events and you'll see how they work. And from all of them, there will be someone that can pass you on, pass you a referral, because we all know people all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting to know people.
And the person who from Dubai who wanted to get some referrals, is it somebody who wants to locate and move the brand into Dubai, or somebody who's established in here and wants to move to Dubai? Or
She's looking for established businesses in London. I
yes,
think there's an attraction for London-based businesses who then want to open up in Dubai rather than relocate.
okay,
So her interview will be coming out on my podcast this week. So if you like podcasts, the Buffalo Sessions is one to look out for.
Love it.
Thank you.
Excellent. Anything else? No. Jamie, I'll follow up this tomorrow. I'll make sure I give people your email address, the free trial link, which is important as well, so that everybody on the call tonight has got it, but more important, the people that are watching the recording get it as well. So I'll do all that. I think that's us done. Time to go and walk the dogs.
Thank you very
Jamie,
much.
thanks again. It's been
Before we
absolutely
go,
brilliant, as always. And
just before we go, I'd like to
highlights.
say thank you, Jamie. And to everyone here, I've been working with Jamie for the last 6 months, and I've been in part of Circle Networks, and I've got to say it's been a huge relief to sort of find that there's other like-minded business owners that actually want to collaborate. And I would really highly recommend doing the trial, and then obviously then seeing if you can then open up a networks and join in with the property. So hopefully get to see you soon. Thank you, Stuart, for organising this.
You're very welcome. And that was a Victor Khayyam quote there, if you remember that. If you don't Google it, I liked it so much, I bought the company. Love it, Neil.
Very much. Right. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good
Cheers,
evening.
guys.
Thanks. Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks everyone for coming along. Fantastic.
Thank
Have a
you.
pleasant evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Jamie.
Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.